When the Princess of Wales and the First Lady of the United States stepped onto Windsor's perfectly manicured lawn, it wasn't just diplomacy on display. It was a global fashion showdown. Kate Middleton, wrapped in bold burgundy by Emilia Wickstead, radiated modern royal confidence. Meanwhile, Melania Trump arrived in Dior and Burberry, dressed not like a politician's wife, but like a queen determined to claim her throne. Every camera shutter snapped, every fan gasped, and every fashion critic sharpened their pen. This wasn't just about coats and hats. It was about power, pride, and who would walk away crowned the ultimate style icon. And here's the twist. Just when the world thought they knew who had won, one of these women unleashed a move that nobody, absolutely nobody, saw coming. So who really won the Windsor Showdown? Let's break it down. Before Windsor, before the cameras, before the swirling headlines, this showdown had been building for years. Kate Middleton's rise to fashion royalty didn't happen overnight. Back in her university days, she was just Kate, a young woman in skinny jeans and high-street brands. But the moment she married Prince William, the microscope switched on. Every hemline, every shoe, every handbag became global news. She learned quickly that fashion wasn't just about looking good. It was about sending a message. Polished coat dresses became her armor. Alexander McQueen gowns became her crown. And her rule? Support British designers, stay elegant, but never overshadow the monarch. Across the Atlantic, Melania Trump was following a very different path. A Slovenian model turned New York socialite. Her style was bold, unapologetic, and dripping with luxury. From the moment Donald Trump entered the White House, Melania faced the same brutal truth Kate had. The world would judge her not only as a woman, but as a symbol. Critics slammed her for sky-high stilettos during natural disasters. Fans praised her for championing couture houses like Dior. And through it all, she carved her own rulebook. Fashion wasn't just diplomacy, it was dominance. So when these two women, arguably the most watched figures in Western fashion, were set to meet at Windsor Castle during a state visit, everyone knew the cameras weren't just capturing a greeting. They were capturing a clash of titans. But what no one knew was just how far each woman would go to on the moment. If you want insider breakdowns of every royal and celebrity fashion battle, subscribe now. We've got the inside scoop no one else dares to cover. It all began with the sound of helicopter blades slicing through the Windsor air. The Trumps landed first. And as the wind whipped across the lawn, photographers were ready, lenses trained like snipers. Kate Middleton appeared in a bespoke burgundy Emilia Wickstead coat, cut to perfection. Double-breasted, knee-length, fitted at the waist with just enough flair to move gracefully in the breeze. She topped it with a Jane Taylor Niso hat, satin bow tied neatly, matching veil covering her eyes like a royal shield. For accessories? A Prince of Wales feather brooch, ruby earrings, a 5,100-pound Chanel flat bag, and John Vito Rossi pumps in suede brown. The message was clear: tradition, loyalty to British fashion, and a splash of luxury without being gaudy. The crowd murmured, Kate was powerfully on trend. But then, the fashion community split down the middle. Tabloids crowned Kate the winner, calling her outfit a lesson in diplomatic dressing. Fashion forums praised her burgundy Chanel bag as a subtle nod to Paris while still backing British design. But across the pond, US commentators were dazzled by Melania's restraint. No bag? No problem. That's not a handbag snub, one stylist tweeted. That's a throne grab. Then came the memes. When Melania stepped off the plane earlier in a floor-length Burberry trench coat, Twitter exploded. Half the internet said she looked like Inspector Gadget, complete with magnifying glass edits. The other half praised her as chic and impossibly diplomatic, championing Britain's most iconic luxury house. Kate's fans clapped back. Inspector Gadget never looked this regal. On the surface, it looked like two women dressing for a photo op. But zoom in, and it was a chess match in silk and wool. Kate's choice of Emilia Wickstead wasn't random. Wickstead is a New Zealand-born designer who made her career in London, an echo of Kate's role, international by marriage, deeply rooted in Britain by duty. Her burgundy color choice? Symbolic of power, ambition, and quiet confidence. Melania's Dior, meanwhile, whispered another story. Dior has a history of dressing queens and first ladies. And while Christian Dior is French, its creative director Jonathan Anderson hails from Northern Ireland. A subtle nod to the UK, without surrendering loyalty to her favored European couture houses. And then the Burberry coat. Melania didn't just wear any trench. She wore the iconic British trench, beloved by the late Queen Elizabeth II herself. It was as if she was saying, "I may not be royal, but I can dress like one." Fashion insiders compared their strategies. Kate, approachable, trend-forward, princess of the people. Melania, queenly, distant, commanding, don't touch the crown. And in the end, the Windsor face-off wasn't about hemlines or handbags. It was about power. Kate Middleton played her role as Britain's modern, relatable royal, balancing tradition with trend, elegance with accessibility. Melania Trump, on the other hand, leaned into regality, choosing not to look like a politician's wife, but a queen in her own right. The world may never agree on who won the fashion war. But one thing's certain, together, they created a moment of history where clothes spoke louder than words. And maybe that's the secret. Fashion, when worn by women in power, isn't just fabric, it's a language. So we leave you with the ultimate question. Who do you crown the winner of the Windsor Showdown? Kate, with her polished modernity? Or Melania, with her unapologetic regality? Comment your pick below and subscribe to Celebrity Watchline, because the next style scandal is already unfolding.